Good morning, St. Francis. It is November the 3rd, 2020, Tuesday of the 31st week of the year. Gotta get that right. It's also the optional memorial of St. Martin de Porres, Peruvian Dominican, who in the 1500s, through many works of charity, helped to alleviate the burdens and the pains of the indigenous and poor people of Peru during the Spanish occupation. He is also the patron saint of racial and ethnic harmony, a good saint perhaps to have on this election day. Where am I have a new hat on today because it's still kind of cool in North Carolina. Where am I coming to you from? I'm coming to you from a parking lot, our parking lot, but not just because it's a parking lot, but because here behind me is the covered entrance, the sort of main entrance into the church complex itself here at St. Francis. The memorial garden is behind me, and then you can see the cupola of the sanctuary in the church itself. It's one of the prettier vistas here at the campus because it has the stately pine trees behind it, the Carolina blue sky, one of a number of beautiful places here on this campus. You know, with the 40th anniversary of the parish coming up soon, it would be nice maybe if somebody put together a photo album that displays all these beautiful vistas. Nice idea. Get it done. Today's gospel is a good gospel perhaps for election day because it is about choices. Jesus is at the home of another Pharisee. This seems to be a good dinner, and he is dining with the Pharisee. And the Pharisee basically makes a statement, "Blessed are those who will dine in the kingdom of heaven." And then Jesus asks, kind of in some ways, well, who is going to be dining there? And he goes on to tell the parable about a king who holds a banquet, invites all kinds of people, and everyone says no, or they're too busy or whatever it is, and nobody comes. Now, for most people, that would be a sign of despair. Nobody likes you. No one came to your party. The king, however, gets enraged, and he basically goes out and tells his servants from the highways and byways and hedge groves and whatever, find whoever you can. Big, small, smart, not so smart, rich, poor, smelly, not smelly, whatever it is. Bring them into this banquet hall because there is going to be a banquet. And that's what happens. Some people can look at that and say, well, look at Jesus is exclusive. Only some will enter the kingdom of heaven. Some will get into heaven, others will not. And that's not what this gospel is about. It's about the fact that basically God's plans will be fulfilled, regardless of what we put in the way of it, regardless of how much we try to frustrate it, regardless of how we think that we are the ones who are going to fulfill God's plans for God. Isn't that so wonderful? God needs so much of our help because God is helpless. And so we get in the way and we make a mess of things. No, that's not the case. God's plans will be fulfilled. And we have to believe that. And we have to be able to have the wisdom and the insight and the knowledge to see where those plans are indeed being fulfilled. In a world that is filled with despair and hopelessness, with dire predictions and all kinds of darkness all around, we need to be the people of wisdom, the people of clarity, the people who know the truth, that our God will never let anything undo the plans God has for creation. We can stand in the way, we can frustrate things again and again and again, but God's plans will come to completion. It is our frustrating them and standing in the way of them that delays that. We must become people who do the work that we are called to do, to make sure that God's plans unfold in the way they should, and not get in the way. May we be always attentive to that responsibility, to be people who do not stand in the way or put anything in the way of God being able to fulfill what God has intended for this world, for us, for creation from the beginning of time. And may that work always lead to peace and goodness and charity and care for one another. May the Lord give you peace.